Rebellion sending to search for the Magna Hut. We could wait for the Magna Hut to activate to can't chain our Baldrake actually until they have a monster on the field. So this is where you have to think, if you're afraid of your Bestial being countered by their Bestial, you'd have to activate it before you put a monster on the field. Not that you want to banish your own Lubellion, but you probably maybe want to just banish your Tragedy before you summon your Alubur. And I think that would be the way, right? But even if you do that, you banish the Tragedy, you summon the Magna Hut, then they could then do the Baldrake, banish the Lubellion before you summon it. So it's like you're kind of in trouble either way. Blazing Cartesia, special summoning, fusion summoning into the Gangrenol. Gangrenol is going to send a level 6 or higher lighter dark from the deck or action next to the graveyard, sending the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare in the graveyard. We're going to banish the Mercurier to get the Magna Hut onto the field. Mercurier activating. Now, you could counter Call by the Grave, and you could counter Bestial, but you need your puppet banished. If you could get the puppet banished, then you target 2 banished cards with the expulsion. They can't counter it. I mean, they got Super Poly. Super Poly could fuse up with the fusions, and then you're in trouble. This would be a very interesting duel. What are our disruptions here? This is not really disruption. No disruption, no disruption. This will negate an extra deck monster in the field, then return a card in the field back to the hand. So we really needed that branded in red to make the Mirror Jade. Heartbeat, spinning back, the regain, discarding Agido. Agido, mill 5 for both players. Really? Nothing was triggered. What? Foolish Burial Good sending our limited to 1 Select from the decks of the graveyard to grab our Rhino Heart. If it were not limited to 1, we maybe would have naturally milled it with the Agido. Baldrake gonna stop the fusion summon by banishing the Merly. Focus. Triple Tactics Talent gonna draw 2. So we can make our Super Poly activatable as we discard a card by cost, fusing with your fusions to make a Dragostapelia, which is a dark monster plus a fusion. Baldrake tributing a lighter dark to banish your monster, but we could negate you. This is interesting. The Alubur's coming out onto the field to negate the Dragostapelia, but we're just going to chain before we're negated and before we get banished to negate the banish. Negate. All right, all right, all right. Try to keep track whose turn it is. Red is top player. Cord in charge, Shokan to the dark. Dark could steal a dark monster from the opponent's graveyard, and we're going to attempt to steal the Rinbrum from the graveyard, successfully doing so. Thank you very much. Now, the Rinbrum needs a Albaz in the graveyard to chain its effect to summon itself back onto your field, which we did not have. We're going to get rid of it for an Elf. An Elf will be able to reborn the Merly from our graveyard during the opponent's turn to mill 3, and then it all comes down to this mill 3. This is a big moment. It's going to be completely random. Let's go. Call by the Grave early onto the Tragedy before banish itself as a cost to grab back a branded fusion. Makes sense. Opening is going to be adding a Libitum from the deck to the hand. This is all during the draw phase here before the Elf could reborn the Merly to perform a fusion summon. Okay, okay. Tributing Magna Hut for the Lubellion as the first play in the main phase, which we could only now respond with an Elf. Summoning Merly, untargetable, mill 3, milling a Kelbeck and a Hovness and a Shuffler. That was a beautiful mill, the best mill we could ever want. Mill 5 for both players, get fusion summoning. We have a Fairy Tale Snow now in the graveyard. And the Kelbeck's new, right? No, yeah, we do. Okay, no Kelbeck. We're going to send a Sharon from the decks of the graveyard to then fusion summon into Kaleido Heart. On summon, we'll be able to spin the Bestial Lubellion back in the deck before it gets a branded beast to pop a card in the field. Do we have the Cartesia to fusion Shokan with the Ad Libitum to trigger the Ad Libitum to summon an Alubur onto the field, which could search for a branded fusion, which the Mudora could stop the branded fusion search by spinning the Alubur back into the deck. Wait, you returned his polymerization back? Isn't that, like, not a good idea? We are going to Fairy Tale Snow, banish 7 to flip down the Masquerade. And we're going to follow a Baldrake, banish the Elf. Now, the Baldrake does target on its banish, so we could not banish the Kaleido Heart if summoned while we have another Light or Dark. Goodbye to the Baldrake. We got Imperm for protection. Imperm is our only disruption here. We have nothing activated on the graveyard as we flip up our Masquerade. Wiping out the Merly, taking out the Snow. No Fusion Summon with Cartesia. Are we out of Edge Imp Chains to search the Patchwork? I think so. Goodbye to the Masquerade, which could resummon itself back into the field. You just triggered our Owlbear to summon onto the field, but it does not search, it does negate. We're gonna banish 7 during the battle phase as we desperately max seed just to draw 1. Not gonna even bother using the Ash Blossom, saving that for a surprise branded fusion. I do think that is the way. Hold the Ash, hold the Ash. Do not let your opponent eat your Ash. We have Masquerade summoning, which was the Bestial check. No Bestial in sight. 7 cards in the graveyard with the Snow. Let's go. Back to you. We are just trying to grind each other down. This is crazy. Not going to share and discard Ash to mill 3. It's a random mill. We can't take that random chance. We're going to continually resummon the Owlbear, continually negating the Kaleido Heart just for a turn. That's the branded fusion. Finally, Ash. That Ash has been waiting. All right, all right, all right. Negate. What is good? What is good? Is this good? Guardian Chimera, but not summoned through a spell effect, so it does not pop cards on the field. But we are bigger. Remember when the polymerization was shuffled back into the deck? Well, it was for a very good reason. It was for this reason alone. The Chimera is no longer untargetable, only untargetable with the polymerization in the graveyard. Fairy Tail Snow is going to flip the Fool face down. At 3,300 defense, though, how do we out that? We could rank 4 Exceed. We could redo her. Oh no, what the heck? We got Scream, mill 3. We are milling into a Scream to search for a Meta Noise. This will be the redoer. Into Sharon. Into Kaleido. Spin the Chimera back. Wait, what? No way. No way this just happened. You sent Fairy Tail Snow to the graveyard by card effect. So the Sharon was sent to the graveyard by card mechanic. And the Kaleido Heart says only if an Aqua is sent to the graveyard by effect, not by card mechanic. So you denied your Fusion Summon and denied your Kaleido Heart. Redoer yoinking a Druid Storm off the top of the deck. Flipping up the 3,300 Mad Lad, which we could flip right back down, sending a Tearlament from the deck to the graveyard on that flip, triggering our Kaleido, triggering our Hovness, get Fusion Summoning, gonna stop the Fusion Summon, but we still got our Kaleido Heart play. This is crazy. I don't know if either player is maybe low on time. It's a very big possibility. Randomly sending Hovness, which is what we already activated to fuse with. Redoer, yoinking an Albaz off the top of the deck. Gonna trigger our Scream, milling a Shuffler and Rhino Heart that we could not summon as we have nothing to discard. Big enough to wipe out the field. 2,500 to the face. Patchwork is dead with no Edge Imp in sight. We're gonna shuffle our own Tearlaments back in the deck so that when they summon to trigger our Scream, we have a higher chance to mill into something. Shouldn't we wait on that, though? Like, we could activate Scream Chain, return them back, yes? And that is the scoop! What an epic Game 2 duel in the top 4. What the heck is going on? Wow.